Myself Harismita Reddy.S. I'm in third sem, currently pursuing computer science engineering. Today in this presentation, we'll be discussing about Latin square design and analysis of covariance. Here, these are the topics that we are going to go through in this presentation. Let's go through all the topics once. Introduction to Latin square design, structure of a Latin square, advantages of Latin square design, limitations of Latin square design, applications of Latin square design, Introduction to Analysis of Covariance, which is also called ANCOVA, Purpose of ANCOVA, Assumptions of ANCOVA, Steps in conducting ANCOVA, Combining Latin square design and analysis of covariance, Applications of Latin square design, and conclusion. Introduction to Latin square design. Latin square design is a statistical method used to control for two blocking factors. It is particularly useful in agricultural experiments and other fields where two nuisance variables may affect the outcome. The design helps in isolating the treatment effects while accounting for variability caused by the blocking factors. Structure of a Latin square. A Latin square consists of a grid where each treatment appears exactly once in each row and each column. This structure ensures that each treatment is tested under all combinations of the blocking factors. The arrangement minimizes the variability due to the rows and columns, allowing for a clearer interpretation of treatment effects. Advantages of Latin square design. One major advantage is that it requires fewer experimental units than a full factorial design. It effectively controls for variability associated with two different factors, increasing the precision of the results. LSD is particularly beneficial when the number of treatment matches the number of levels in the blocking factors. In the diagram, we can also see the disadvantages of the Latin square design. Limitations of Latin square design. One limitation is that it can only accommodate two blocking factors, which may not be sufficient for certain experiments. The design requires a square number of treatments which can resist the flexibility of experimental designs. If treatments have interactions, LSD may not be suitable as it does not count for them effectively. In design applications, Latin square design is used in statistics and mathematics. In the design of experiments, Latin squares are a special case of row-column designs for two blocking factors. Error-correcting codes, mathematical puzzles, board games, and agronomic research are also where Latin square design is used. Introduction to Analysis of Covariance. ANCOVA is a statistical technique that combines ANOVA and regression. It is used to compare one or more means while controlling for covariates that may influence the dependent variable. The goal of ANCOVA is to reduce the error, variance, and improve the accuracy of the estimates of treatment effects. Purpose of ANCOVA. ANCOVA allows researchers to adjust for pre-existing differences among groups, leading to more valid conclusions. It can increase statistical power by reducing the residual variance associated with the dependent variable. This technique is especially useful in observational studies where randomization is not possible. There are two primary purposes for ANCOVA. Adjust the means of the dependent variable to correspond to a common value of the independent variable, thereby providing a fair comparison of the groups. And the second one is remove extraneous variation in the dependent variable that is associated with the covariate, thereby providing smaller standard errors of a group means more powerful test for significance of differences between group means. Assumptions of ANCOVA. ANCOVA assumes that the relationship between the covariate and the dependent variable is linear. It also assumes homogeneity of regression slopes across groups, meaning the effect of the covariate is consistent. Dependence of observations is another crucial assumption, ensuring that the data points are not influenced by each other. In the diagram, you can also see the types of explanatory variables. Steps in conducting ANCOVA. The first step involves checking the assumptions of ANCOVA, including normality and homogeneity of variances. Next, the model is specified by identifying the dependent variable, independent variable, and covariates. Finally, the results are interpreted, focusing on adjusted means and significance of treatment effects. Now, combining Latin square design with ANCOVA. Combining LSD, that is Latin square design, with ANCOVA enhances the analysis by controlling for covariates while considering blocking factors. This approach allows for a more nuanced understanding of treatment effects amidst potential confounding variables. It is particularly effective in complex experimental designs where multiple factors impact the outcome. Applications of analysis of covariance. Controlling for initial differences. Analysis of covariance can be used to adjust for initial differences between groups, such as differences in motivation, income, or education. This helps to eliminate systematic bias and create a level playing field for unbiased comparisons. Increasing test sensitivity. ANCOVA can be used to eliminate unwanted variance on the dependent variable, which can increase the power of the F-test. Adjusting means of multiple dependent variables. ANCOVA can be used to assess the contribution of multiple dependent variables by removing their effects from the analysis. Comparing treatment methods. ANCOVA can be used to compare the effectiveness of different treatment methods on patient recovery times. Examining the impact of an educational program. ANCOVA can be used to examine the impact of an educational program on student performance. Conclusion. Latin square design and analysis of covariance are powerful tools for improving experimental accuracy and validity. Their combination is useful in fields such as agriculture, psychology, and clinical trials to better analyze data. Understanding these methods equips researchers to design more robust studies and draw meaningful conclusions. Thank you for staying with me till the end, and I hope you found this video informative.